time doesn't wait. And honestly, it never will. Right now, while you're watching this video, something is slipping away. Not dramatically, not in some big movie moment. Just quietly. Like sand through your fingers when your fist is too loose. Your potential is fading, not because you're lazy, not because you're stupid, not because the world is against you, but because you're waiting. Waiting for Monday, waiting for summer, waiting until you figure it out, waiting until you feel ready. And I'm going to tell you something that might actually sting a little. You will never feel ready. That feeling you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. The right moment is a ghost, and you've been chasing it so long, you don't even realize you're running in place. I've been there. I know exactly what that feels like. And that's why we're having this conversation tonight. Look, I want to tell you something real before we get into all the strategy stuff. I had a football channel, not the channel I have now, a different one, something I genuinely loved, analyzing games, breaking down tactics, talking about the sport the way I always wish someone talked to me about it. And for months, I just thought about it. I'd open my notes app at like midnight and write ideas, thumbnail concepts, episode titles, video structures. I had the whole thing mapped out in my head like a film that was never going to get made. I mean, I had excuses that felt completely legitimate at the time, you know? My mic isn't good enough. I don't know how to edit yet. What if nobody watches? What if people laugh at me? What if? And then one day, I honestly can't even tell you what switched. I just stopped thinking. I picked up my phone, I hit record, the lighting was bad, my delivery was awkward, I stumbled over words, I had no idea what I was doing. But something happened when I uploaded that video, something that no amount of planning had ever given me. Feedback, real, actual information about what worked and what didn't. Not from a YouTube tutorial, not from a how to grow your channel guide, from doing the thing, from putting something real into the world and watching what happened. That's when I understood. The plan isn't the teacher. The execution is the teacher. And everything I thought I needed to figure out before I started, I figured it out by starting, every single time. Now let me ask you something, and I want you to actually think about this. Don't just let it slide past you. What have you been sitting on? Not hypothetically, right now. What's the thing in the back of your head that keeps showing up? The channel idea, the business, the skill you want to learn, the project that's been living in a notes app for 6 months collecting digital dust. Because here's the part that actually hurts when I say it out loud. Think back to just a few years ago, before the whole short-form content explosion, before certain niches blew up out of nowhere. There were creators who turned skeleton animations into full-time income, people who made simple stick figure drawings into channels with millions of subscribers, random commentary niches that exploded because one person was in the right place and just started. Maybe you knew about some of those trends. Maybe you watched someone else do it. Maybe you even thought, I could do that. Then you waited. Not because you're a bad person, not because you lack talent, but because you were waiting to feel ready. And while you waited, someone else who was also not ready just started anyway. And now they're getting a check every month. That's not me trying to make you feel bad. I promise you, that's me trying to make you feel something. Because comfort is the enemy here. Comfort is the thing that keeps brilliant people completely invisible. Here's the question I keep coming back to, and it's uncomfortable, so stay with me. What would you have lost if you had just tried? Seriously, think about the worst case scenario. You make something, it doesn't work. You learn from it, you adjust, you try again. That's it. That's the whole risk. You don't lose your house, you don't lose your friends, you don't lose your dignity. You just get smarter faster. The person who makes 100 imperfect videos will always outperform the person who spent that same year perfecting a plan that never launched. Mistakes aren't the opposite of success. Mistakes are literally how success happens. They train you, they calibrate you, they show you where the actual path is, not where you imagined it would be from the outside. Okay, so let's actually talk about what to do with all of this, because I don't want this to just be another motivational video you forget about by Thursday. I want to give you a real system, not a wish, not a vibe, a system, because discipline without structure is just frustration. Step 1, kill the Monday myth. We all have this deal we make with ourselves. I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month. I'll start when summer hits. And every time Monday comes, we negotiate again. Here's the thing nobody tells you. There is no Monday that feels different than today. The psychology doesn't change. The resistance doesn't disappear. The only thing that changes on Monday is the date. So right now, after this video, not tomorrow, not Monday, right now, you pick one thing, one idea, one direction, and you take the first smallest possible step toward it. Not the whole plan, just the first step. That's all, that breaks the cycle. Step 2. Write it down. Seriously, I know it sounds almost too simple, but there is a psychological difference between an idea floating in your head and an idea written on paper that is genuinely hard to explain until you experience it. When you write it down, it stops being a fantasy and starts being a mission. Your brain treats it differently. You treat it differently. Open a notes app. Write down every idea that has been living rent-free in your head. All of them. The weird ones, the probably too competitive ones, the ones you talked yourself out of already. Write them all down. Then, and this is the part most people skip, pick one. Not the safest one, not the one with the most guaranteed success. The one that genuinely excites you. The one that makes you a little nervous. That nervous feeling, that's not a warning sign. That's the signal. Step 3. Eat the frog. This one changed my life. No exaggeration. Whatever you've identified as the hardest part of starting, do that first. Most people procrastinate on the hard parts and spend all their energy on the comfortable, easy tasks that make them feel productive without actually moving the needle. You flip that. You start with the hardest thing, the thing you've been avoiding. And when you get through it, your brain gets this almost chemical hit of momentum. The rest of the work doesn't feel as heavy because you've already proved to yourself that you can handle the heavy stuff. Most people quit while dealing with the easy parts because the hard parts feel like they're waiting at the end. You go through the hard part first, and suddenly everything after it feels manageable. Step 4. Be everywhere, all at once. This is something the most successful creators figured out early, and most people still haven't caught up to. Don't limit yourself to one platform. Don't build your whole identity on one corner of the internet. The algorithm changes, platforms shift. What works today on one app might get buried tomorrow. Create the content, then distribute it everywhere that makes sense for your format. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels, whatever platform is climbing right now. The goal isn't to be perfect on each one. The goal is to be present on each one, because you only need one thing to land. One video, one post, one idea to connect with the right person at the right time and change the entire trajectory of what you're building. But that can only happen if you're in the game. I want to be real with you for a second. This is not going to be easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you just believe in yourself, everything will click into place within 30 days. That's not how this works, and you already know that. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there are going to be videos that get 11 views, and one of them is your mom. Yes, you are going to second guess yourself multiple times on the same day. Yes, there are going to be moments where you look at someone else's growth and feel like you're moving backward. All of that is real. I've lived all of it. But here's what's also real. The version of you who has been watching from the sidelines, who knows everything about the game but has never played. That version of you has zero chance. Zero. Because the game doesn't count practice in your head. And the version of you who starts, even imperfectly, even messily, even with no idea what they're fully doing, that version of you is in the arena. And being in the arena means you can actually win. You know what separates the people who make it from the people who almost made it? Not talent, not luck, not the perfect camera or the perfect niche or the perfect moment, just the decision to not stop. That's genuinely it. The creators who are earning real money from this right now, a lot of them aren't the most talented people in the room. They're just the ones who refused to quit when the numbers were small. They trusted the process long enough to let the process work. You have to be willing to be bad at something before you can be good at it. That's true for literally everything that has ever mattered in the history of the world. And somehow we forget that when it comes to the things we actually care about. So let me talk to whoever actually needs to hear this right now. You, the one who has had the same idea sitting in your notes for 4 months. The one who knows more about their niche than half the people already creating in it. The one who watches other creators and thinks, I could do that, and then closes the app and goes back to scrolling. This is the moment. Not because the stars are aligned, not because everything is perfect, but because the only thing standing between you and the life you keep imagining is the decision to start before you feel ready. There are billions of people in this world who will never try, who will watch others succeed and write it off as luck, who will convince themselves the timing was never right, who will spend their whole lives as spectators of their own potential. Don't be that person. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need the best gear. You don't need a roadmap that covers every possible obstacle. You need to start and then keep going and then keep going again after the moment it gets hard. Create something on whatever platform feels right in whatever format makes sense for you, with whatever concept has been sitting in the back of your mind, and do it until you succeed. Not for 30 days, not until the first video doesn't perform the way you hoped, until you succeed. Because the person who never stops is genuinely impossible to beat. Look, I'm not gonna tell you to smash that like button and pretend that's the point of any of this. The point is this: time is moving right now. While you're watching this, while you're thinking about it, while you're deciding whether you're the kind of person who acts or the kind of person who waits, time is moving, and it doesn't pause for your preparation. So take what you need from this conversation tonight. Write something down, start something small. Let the first step be ugly, let it be imperfect, let it be exactly what it is, a beginning. Because a messy beginning beats a perfect plan that never leaves your head every single time. If this hit you somewhere real, drop a comment. Tell me what the thing is that you've been sitting on. I genuinely read them, and I want to know. And if you want to see how we're building this whole thing in real time, systems, strategy, everything, come find us in the Discord. The link is below. That's where the actual conversations happen. Until next time, start now.